The candle on the dinner table was supposed to make the evening feel warm and romantic, but to me, it buzzed and flickered like an annoying insect, more of a nuisance than a comfort. I sat across from Rachel, my wife of 6 years, watching her absent-mindedly poke at her grilled salmon. She wasn't eating, not really. Her fork simply dragged across the plate while her attention was fixed elsewhere. Her phone. The screen glowed faintly as her thumb scrolled with robotic precision. "Can we have just one dinner without your phone?" I asked, my tone calm but edged with disappointment. Rachel looked up, startled, like a guilty child caught sneaking candy before supper. Her lips parted, ready with an excuse, but instead she gave a stiff nod and turned the phone face down. For a moment, I wanted to believe she meant it, that she would actually focus on me. But the slight smirk tugging at the corner of her lips told me otherwise. I lifted my wine glass, but my eyes betrayed me. They drifted back to the device lying on the table. The screen lit up again, then again. One notification after another. Rachel's hand twitched, slowly sliding across the table until her fingers brushed against the edge of the phone like it was a lifeline she couldn't abandon. I wasn't blind. For months, I had felt something was wrong. The late nights at the office, the sudden lock screen messages that vanished when I walked into the room, the distance in our bed as if intimacy had become a chore she wanted no part of. I told myself it was stress, exhaustion, anything but the truth, because admitting the truth would cut too deep. But that night, I decided to face it. "Go on," I said, gesturing at the phone. Rachel hesitated, then reached for it. Her fingers trembled slightly as she unlocked it, her eyes darting nervously to mine. She tried to tilt the screen away, but it was too late. Over the rim of my wine glass, I caught the name. Evan. My chest constricted. "Who's Evan?" I asked, my voice steady though fire burned in my veins. Rachel's head snapped up. Color drained from her face. "What?" "Evan," she stammered. "The man you're texting during our dinner." I repeated slowly, each syllable landing like a strike. For the briefest moment, guilt flickered across her expression. But then it hardened into defiance. "You're being ridiculous, Mark." That single word cracked me open. Ridiculous. Months of unease, suspicion, and quiet suffering boiled over. Before I could think, I reached across the table, ripped the phone from her hands, and hurled it against the wall. It exploded into pieces with a shattering crash, the sound ringing through the dining room like a gunshot. Rachel gasped, clutching her chest. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she shouted, standing abruptly. "What's wrong with me?" My voice roared back. "You're sitting at our table in our home, secretly texting another man while I fight to keep this marriage alive. What's wrong with you?" For once, she was speechless. Her lips opened and closed like a fish gulping for air, but no clever excuse came. That silence was louder than any confession. It was all the proof I needed. By the time she stormed out, slamming the door behind her, my rage had shifted. No longer wild, it became sharp, cold, and calculating. If she wanted to betray me, then she would pay the price. The next morning, I called in sick and began my plan. I pulled up our phone records, scrolling through the endless stream of texts between her and Evan. Late nights, secret calls, obsessive frequency. My stomach churned, but my resolve only grew stronger. I hired a private investigator named Frank, blunt, professional, and known for getting results. Within days, he handed me a thick folder. Inside were photos of Rachel and Evan entering hotels, printouts of their flirtatious texts, even a record of her booking a weekend getaway with him using our joint credit card. It wasn't just an affair. It was a second life she had built behind my back. That's when revenge became my only answer. Step 1. The money. Rachel and I shared a joint account, but she had no idea about my personal savings. I siphoned most of the joint funds into my private account, leaving just enough behind to avoid her noticing right away. I froze our credit cards. No more spending sprees on my dime. Step 2. The house. Rachel always treated the house as ours. What she didn't realize was that I had purchased it before our marriage. My name was the only one on the deed. I contacted my lawyer and began eviction proceedings. By the time she discovered it, her belongings would already be on the curb. Step 3. Exposure. Quiet divorce wasn't enough. I wanted the world to know exactly who she was. I compiled Frank's evidence and sent it anonymously to her family, her friends, even her coworkers. Screenshots, photos, receipts, all of it. I even left a brutally honest review on the hotel's website, detailing her repeated visits with Evan. When Rachel returned that evening, she was greeted by a locksmith changing the locks. She stormed toward me, fury written across her face. "What the hell is going on?" she demanded. Without a word, I handed her an envelope. Divorce papers. Evidence. Proof of everything she thought she had hidden. Her eyes scanned the documents, her skin turning pale. "You can't just throw me out. This is my home too," she spat. "No," I said calmly. "It's my home. You're the guest who overstayed her welcome." She cried, begged, tried to twist the story as she always had, but I didn't flinch. By the end of the week, she was gone. And Evan? He didn't walk away untouched. I tracked down his employer, a small tech startup, and sent an email outlining his repeated absences, complete with time-stamped photos of his hotel visits with Rachel during work hours. Days later, he was unemployed. Rachel's carefully constructed life crumbled overnight. No job. No home. No friends willing to stand beside her. With nowhere else to go, she ended up moving in with a distant cousin far from here. And me? I thrived. The first few weeks without her were quiet, almost haunting. But slowly, that silence became peaceful, liberating. I focused on my work, on hobbies I had long ignored, on friendships that her toxicity had smothered. One evening, I sat on the porch with a glass of wine, watching the sun sink into the horizon. For the first time in years, I felt peace. Rachel had tried to break me, but in the end, her betrayal only gave me strength. And that, I realized, was the sweetest revenge of all. So friends, if you connected with this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss the next one. Thank you for watching.